Hey my friends, so today I wanted to talk a bit about how I deal with negative emotions, and so whatever I'm saying here, just try it out. I would recommend to try it out in a time when you're not like fully triggered, because then you might just like give up and say it's like total nonsense. But try it out when you're mildly triggered, just a little bit. You know, even those just mild triggers where we just feel annoyed by just something. It might even happen now when I'm talking. You know, there might be some resistance there, and there's this mild trigger, and that's already you know, there's something bigger lying underneath that. And just to turn towards that, just having this openness to turn towards our pain in the end. When we open more through our, let's say there's this vertical axis and the horizontal axis. The vertical axis is what we practice in a meditation to really come out of time and fully come into the moment and dive deeper into that. And then we dive into where there is no time, when there is no story, where there is no problem, and there's no past and there is no future, so there is no problem. The present doesn't contain the problems. But that doesn't mean that not negative and positive stuff comes up, especially there's still negative stuff happening, but we don't make stories out of it, and we don't judge it as right or wrong. It's just something that's happening, and because we are not attached to it, and because we don't create a story around it, it's just happening. So, and we can learn from it and become more conscious, but heaven doesn't mean that there's no challenges and bad things happening. We just don't cling to it and don't make a story of it. But heaven is the space where we don't have any resistance to life and what is unfolding. So the resistance happens in the mind, and when our emotions get triggered, and we have that. We just have a huge part of an unconscious mind that is dwelling. It's just in the deep sea, but it wants to come up, and life always triggers us in some ways. Usually people that are coming into our lives and they trigger us, or just some life situation, or just reading the news, whatever. There is something that comes up, and we have resistance to it. And whatever we resist, if we don't include it, if it's not allowed to be part of our whole consciousness and part of this love that we are not whole. If we just exclude it and say, no, this is not, then we cannot become whole. So wholeness is accepting everything and loving everything. And so this is the vertical axis, and but we usually just don't go there. It's not like, I'm there and it's happening. So we have this path on the horizontal plane, where we work on our beliefs and look through them, and on our emotions and the physical body. So how I deal with it. So I actually wanted to do this video already when I was on my 3-day retreat. I started to do it, and then I didn't feel it, and I put it away, and then I did it one more time, tried it, and I'm like, nah. And I knew it's not the time, and then I don't force myself into it. It's just not working. I just didn't know yet what was going to happen, actually. So I was highly triggered, and I had to go through my own little process, and which was really, really amazing. I'm so grateful for it, because every time we open up and we tend to our inner hurt, there is so much release and beauty afterwards. And I got very triggered, and then I I really said to myself, so I just show you the steps. I can put it up in step. First step for me is hand on the heart and just tell myself, I'm here for you now. So it's like as if you're talking to your little child or to a puppy or whatever you really like cherish and is so vulnerable, and that you really feel like taken care of. This is kind of the attitude that we should bring to ourselves, because we all have this hurt inside, and when we come to this planet, we are so open, and we take in so much from our parents, especially, and then all the rest that we meet. But when we are so open, it's so painful for the system to receive anger, or to feel the sadness of someone else, and we just soak it in, and it's just it becomes part of us. And now it's our job, now that we are adults and we become more conscious, it's really our part to take care of that hurt little child that is still there. Because this is actually what draws us out of the moment. This is our past. It always draws us. This is the stories that we always recreate in our minds. And the hurt was way past. It's like so long ago, but we recreate it, and we always have people in our lives that trigger these old hurts, and not in this overt way all the time, but in a mild way. And it's like it's just almost always there until we really decide again, okay, I'm in the moment, I'm actually free. Yeah, so it's time for us to turn towards it. And I'm not a person who thinks that it's important to dig up all that stuff, but I do feel when I'm triggered, then it's my invitation to look. So when I'm not aligned, when I lost the moment, I lost my connection, then it's my time to look into it. Okay, so where was I? Hand on the heart is my first step. So I'm here. I look at you. I'm not taking care of you, and we walk through life together. My second one is actually the best one is for me to take pen and paper and write it out, and really let my thoughts come, let the pain talk, and write it out. And you can be as cruel, as nasty, as judging, as whatever, whatever really wants to be said, and just write it down. And when you feel, okay, nothing is coming anymore, then sit down, close your eyes, and connect to the pain in the body, and really feel the raw emotions. Because in the end, energy is emotions is energy in motion, and when we don't make a story of them, it just moves through, and it leaves the system again. It's only when we hold it with our old beliefs and the thoughts. So really feeling the raw feeling, and when we let go of the story, while we feel the feeling is actually not threatening to us. It just comes up, and you might be crying, and you might feel like punching, or you might feel, it's like you just let it, just let it. And so I had this huge release, and I was so amazing. I could really feel I'm coming really to the core of my stories and to the core of my suffering. And it was and the basic is like our really core suffering is actually the belief that we are separate from the world, and that we will die, that we are not worthy, that we are not good enough, that life is a struggle, something around that, and you will find your own. But first, just really let the thoughts run, and then you might get a sense for, this is actually the juicy part. Is actually just this. So when you really felt the emotions, and you did your crying, or maybe you did your punching, or letting a sound out, whatever, then I really felt, wow, I need to move this through the body. So I got up and I did some shaking. In my yoga practice, I do that sometimes. at the end that we shake the body, or we come into a state where the body actually naturally shakes by itself. This time I really just felt like shaking it out, and I just show you, you might not see me on the, oh yeah, I have to bend my legs a bit. So I was not so far bent in my legs, but I do it now. So you bend your legs and you just shake, you just start to shake from your legs and allow the upper body to shake along, and just let your tailbone really hang. That's like for me most important. And then there's might be movements in the hip coming, and who knows, wherever, and to shake the head out and really let it shake, let it come out, and have the intention to shake this old out of the body, and to shake the emotions out, and to shake the beliefs and the thoughts out, and to get that really into the physical body. And then when you've done this for a while and you feel, okay, I'm ready with that, then you can sit down, and again for a moment just close your eyes, and then you ask yourself a very honest question, and the question is, am I ready to let go of this belief and these old emotions? And you will know if you're ready. Like, you know, you might be, you in that moment you also might feel like I'm really ready, and then life will show you later if that comes up again or not. But just to be honest, and the answer can be no, because we tend to hold to our old stuff. But you might even be ready, because you might also think like, wow, I have experienced so much more, and we can actually come to this point where we can see it's really our decision where we want to place our attention, and that we can choose to live in this separated state of I'm hurt and I need to protect myself, I'm a separate body, there's a dangerous world out there. Or if we want to come into this fullness of life where we see that we are actually everything, and this at the same time this empty, alive space behind, and that connects everything. So that is our choice, where we having our attention on, and then we grow more into it. Wherever the attention goes, energy flows, and we are on our highway back. So this is this video is just how I deal with it. So how I deal with the bumpy parts on the highway, and of course it also depends on if you have a lot of trauma in your past. You might want to look for help. There's also many healers in this group, and if you want to share some of your experiences and tips, and feel free to do that in the sharing group, because there's always so much to get from, like we are all here to learn from each other, and it's so, and we not only from the good stuff, especially actually from the ones where we get triggered. Those are actually our real angels, and the more clear you become, you just see how intelligent this life is, and how intelligent it is set up for you and not against you. Life was never against you in the end. When we get to see that, it's so humbling to see how every person that ever triggered you, every friend that you thought caused you pain, or enemy that caused you pain, it was really there for you, to make you remember who you truly are. And it's just so amazing. Yeah. So let me just make it like a quick review of it. First thing, hand on my heart, and okay, I'm listening. And second is writing down all the thoughts and trying to get the juicy part, the belief that is behind all those thoughts. Third part is to just let these raw emotions, give you time to feel these raw emotions, and see how, if you feel the raw emotions without the story, there's actually no suffering around it. And because it's just just release. And the fourth step is to get up and shake it out. And then sitting down with this honest question in your heart, am I ready to let go of it? Yeah, so just try it out, play with it, and I'm happy to hear from you, and I hope it works, because it's very freeing. I had such a release, and then my physical body, that it just becomes so light, and there's so much possible afterwards, you know. And I've did yoga for so many years, and there's still areas that I feel I cannot open up through physical asanas only. So there's always wisdom behind the locks in the body, and we have to have the willingness to look within. And even if we go to a therapist or like a healer or homeopathy or whatever, it's just our inner openness to look deeper that is actually already the part of the healing. Okay, enjoy. Bye bye.